Hi everyone, welcome to Keyboard Fundamentals. Glad you're here. Just a little bit about this course before it begins. It has sort of two purposes. One is that the keyboard is such a beautiful visual for a lot of the musical concepts that we use in the choir world, or really in the music world in general, that it's really going to increase your understanding of what's going on, a lot of those concepts that we use in class, just by being a super specific visual. But secondly, if you take this really seriously and use these as sort of the first steps towards something bigger, it could potentially be a tool to help you play your own part and learn your own part in the score, which gives you so much more independence. You don't have to worry about a teacher like myself or Mrs. Klingenmeyer or Mr. Sensabaugh, any of those teachers having to do it for you. You can do it yourself, which is it just takes you to a whole new level. So just know that just like our other music fundamentals class, it can be a bit of an investment at first. It's a little bit starting at the very beginning with some building blocks that just need to be memorized and given some repetition, and that's okay. But also don't forget that you might have some focused practice time with a specific learning objective, but there is absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, I highly encourage just messing around a little bit on the piano. If you have a piano or a keyboard to be working on at home, there's so much to be learned just by improvising and making different sounds and figuring out how everything works and just having a good time. So don't forget to do a little bit of that as well. You will probably do just fine with a keyboard or a piano for this class. I think you could probably get by pretty well with a virtual keyboard on a tablet as well. There's also, I'm going to leave a link in the slides for musictheory.net has a virtual keyboard that you can use on a computer. It won't have the same sort of feel to it like you would playing notes with your fingers, but you could at least learn kind of the concepts and the visual side of things and be able to click the different keys and figure out how correct you are when you're learning your scales, for instance. So feel free to use any of those tools. I will always have, if I'm going to be using a visual of some kind, I'll usually link some papers that you could download and print off and work with. If you can't print things at home, totally get it. Just use whatever you got. If you got some notebook paper, or if you'd rather just watch or look and not write it down, just kind of explore on the keyboard by yourself, that's also cool. Just do what you can within the course. Like our Music Fundamentals course, this is totally self-paced, so don't feel like you have to take a certain schedule. It's best to learn things well rather than learn things quickly. So don't go on to the next step until you really understand what's going on in the first step, and you should be just fine. Just go back and review whatever you need to review, and just like the other class, we'll have a contact slide at the very end that shows my contact information and the contact information for Mr. Sensabaugh and Mrs. Klingenmeyer. If you're more comfortable, we've got some Jolene and Fremont students joining us for this class, which is awesome. If you're more comfortable asking them questions, you absolutely may, but I'm also available through my email and my Google Voice number. So thanks for joining us, and let's get to work.